Hey guys, welcome back. BDCKR here, and this is going to be a video on the Injustice 2.12 update.
That just hit a couple days ago.
Yeah.
So no teasers here. There's still no power credit glitch that we know of. But there's lots of other stuff, and we'll get to the meat of it. So right now, what you're watching is a clip of us repeating the promotion. So the promotion glitch was working on Thursday, October 20th, and if you were subscribed, you probably saw that we posted a video. But the early access pack was back in hours and totally messing it up. So, the moral of that story is to be prepared, make sure you know how it works, and be ready to take advantage of it when the circumstances are right again. Besides that, the challenge reset still works, confirmed. The last laugh ticket glitch still works, but still hard to do. And not really a glitch the same way, but the airplane mode glitch still works, so you can get whichever thing you want from any random packs.
Yeah. So in the update, there was a couple of changes. The character Blackest Night Batman has been updated, so his stats are now 1,250
On damage instead of 1,000.
Yeah, and 1,000 on health
Instead of 800.
Yeah, so this is a lot better than before, but it's not as good as they said it was on the official
Right,
forums.
and in previews, I think they said it was going to be 1,600 and 1,400, which would have been ridiculous for 3,000, like as far as power creep goes.
Yeah, and his passive is now updated to make him deal more damage as his opponent's health goes down, which was much better than his after midnight boost, which was kind of worthless.
Yeah. And it seems like the boost is as much as the opponent's health is reduced. So
like as a percentile point.
Exactly.
Yeah, so if they're at 50% health, he does 50% more damage.
It seems like it.
Which is pretty significant, considering that's all damage types.
That's right, absolutely.
And the unblockable chance with teammates is excellent. 10% per Blackest Night character, or 10% for each, yeah.
Per Blackest Night character, yeah. And I've always thought the unblockable chance was one of the best abilities in the gear, and I was so excited when the custom rifle on Arkham Knight came in, because that was the first unblockable chance it wasn't character specific, that you didn't have to be Flash or Doomsday to be able to take advantage of.
And there's also a completely new character, which is Blackest Night Hawkgirl, who has excellent team synergy with other Blackest Night characters. Her resurrection ability is so good. It's a natural counter to anybody like Killing Joke Joker, who gives teammates their special 3 or super move. And it's also a good counter to things like the huge splash damage from the Cloak of Destiny and League of Assassins Knives gear loadout. With either Luchador, Bane, or Batgirl, it's essentially just a really good counter to anything that would wipe your team otherwise.
Right, a single hit.
Where you'd otherwise feel a little bit helpless, you just kind of get taken down really quickly.
Yeah, it's literally like Mortal Kombat's, the Warlock Quan Chi, but on steroids, right? Because she resurrects every Blackest Night team member instead of him resurrecting one person.
Yeah.
And, we're not ignoring it, but the 15% health recovery for each card knocked out may not seem like a lot, but it's actually really good when we realize it's not for her teammates or the other team, but both. So potentially she's getting an extra 75% health back.
Actually, only 60%. Because it's her 2 other people on her team and 2 people on the enemy team.
Oh, right,
because if you knock out any more than that, she's either already been knocked out, or you've already beat the enemy
team. So
it's
60%, because that last 15% won't matter.
Yeah.
Okay. Absolutely right. So, yeah, the Justice League Wonder Woman Challenge is running, and Blackest Night and Hawkgirl's early access pack is up, so she should be next. Hawkgirl, I mean. Mm-hmm. Okay, so what's interesting about this team is there's a huge amount of potential for a Blackest Night team. Now, can you imagine putting the 4th World gear set on Blackest Night Doomsday? If he's resurrecting twice, you could guarantee that he lasts long enough to get the benefit of his boosting passive, right, where he does extra damage on his specials. And as much of a pain as Blackest Night Martian Manhunter already is, think of the tank that he would be with one more resurrection.
For sure, yeah, they're making them like the next kind of Red Sun team.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what we're gonna see so much of because of exactly that. Okay, and that's related to a question that Jack John Porygon-Q Carpenter asked. That's a mouthful. How much do you think Blackest Night Batman's buff will affect the meta? So, as far as his damage boost goes, I don't think it's huge. As far as toppling Injustice 2 Superman as being my favorite basic damage booster.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about the unblockable, I think it's huge. It's pretty big. It makes a big difference. But I think a bigger difference will be the resurrection, and combine that with Blackest Night Martian Manhunter. So really, it'll be the Hawkgirl Martian Manhunter combo, and Batman will be the icing on the cake. But being able to revive twice, I don't know if you've fought against Blackest Night Martian Manhunter. He's a pain.
Yeah.
He cycles through his half damage, and then he can heal on it when he's red, and then he does it over and over again, plus the heal or the regen from Fourth World Gear, and then 2 resurrections.
I think it'll be really, really hard to deal with.
Yeah, on defense, absolute nightmare.
And especially now that they're with the stat buff, they're actually going to be drawing more battles.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my prediction. We'll see if that actually plays out properly, because we'll have to wait until Hawkgirl's available and she shows up in the multiplayer teams.
Yeah.
Okay, and next
there's new gear. So that's Scarecrow's Ventilator mask, and there's a lot of good defensive value for dealing damage back on blocked specials, and that gives it a lot of potential as maybe a counter for Fourth World Gear set too, depending on whether it's strictly a healing block or whether regen counts, and that's talking about the other ability for blocking on tagging.
Right. So Blackest Night Doomsday is the current challenge in multiplayer online, so expect Scarecrow's gear next. And yeah, if it negates healing for 9.5 seconds on tagging, maybe interesting, maybe not. But if it could negate regeneration,
that would be pretty huge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Especially against the Fourth World Gear set. And it's really interesting and really powerful that it reflects 40% of block specials too. Especially if you look at just with the new characters coming in, combined with Blackest Night Hawkgirl's passive, or with the Fourth World Gear set, it seems like a natural counter to Ares' Special 2 Godsmack. Because even though it's unblockable,
Godsmack you mean, right?
Yeah. If you're blocking when it hits, you take the damage, but you still get blocking effects because of the weird way that it functions.
Right, so he's actually particularly vulnerable to this, right? Because, listen, most of the time you block, you take less damage, so you're reflecting less damage.
Mm-hmm.
You block, you take the full damage. Can you imagine that? So you've got Ares, augmented, crit damage, crit boosted, could do, like a couple 100,000 damage, reflecting 40% back? That would be sweet.
Yeah, it's too bad with all the special evaders that characters like Ares aren't used as much anymore. Because this would be a lot better if Ares was still kind of prevalent in the meta.
Yeah, you know what would be a cool experiment to try with this once the gear is available? In Justice 2 Superman, blocking Ares' Godsmack, right? I know that in theory what should happen is he'll take the damage because he's blocked.
Oh, yeah, because it won't break his shield, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to see what happens, but I guess the problem might be that he won't be able to survive taking the full damage of the Special 2. He might not have enough health. Okay.
And so, yeah, despite this being a relatively minor update, there's one new card, one updated card, one new gear. There are actually a few more important changes, like we mentioned earlier, that we're going to talk about.
Right, so what you can see here is Reverse Flash, and he's kind of been nerfed a little bit. He's got either a really weak and short duration speed boost, or no speed boost at all. Because you see where the icons are, where you should see the speed boost, what you've got there is how many more potential cellular regenerations remain. So on a related note, the only person who's got speed boosts that are clearly stacking would be the Bronze Flash, the original Flash Prime. Which is kind of a shame, because I still love playing Ultra Flash, and I was hoping they'd fix that and give him his stacking speed boost back.
So he's not as good.
Yeah, unfortunately. So, well, it's balancing, right?
Yeah. The League of Assassins gear set is fixed, and also nerfed, but it, I guess, partially depends on what you think about it. It now works like it was described in the gear description, which is to say if somebody tags out within 12 seconds of the gear holder tagging in, which means that you can no longer spam Antimatter Sinestro's Special 1, since the trapped engages only the one time when he tags in, not when other people tag in.
Right, you can see this here, because he's only tagging in the one time. And once he's engaged it, and then triggered it, it's not going again, no matter how many times you do Special 1.
Yeah, also, in multiplayer online play, the gear set properties don't apply to the whole team, just the person with the gears, which again is I think what it was originally meant to be.
And I've been vocal about this before. I absolutely love that fix, because what the gear set affecting everybody, no matter who is holding it, meant that you're totally keeping people from using the legitimate strategy of having different team members tagging in and out and taking advantage of their different passes and stuff,
Yeah.
right? So this opens up a whole new strategy for building a team.
And I think, while it's worse for Antimatter Sinestro, the gear set is now slightly better for everyone else, because you don't actually need to make somebody swap in then swap out. You just need to swap in when you know they're going to swap out, which with the AI is actually possible to do.
I think you're absolutely 100% right. So it's less overpowered for Sinestro, but more useful for everybody else. Absolutely right.
Even if it's not amazing, like, you still need to have a lot of game sense to take advantage of it. But I think free free power is worth it.
Yeah, oh, totally. And the extra potential damage, yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, so all in all, I guess it's an interesting update. There's a relatively low amount of content.
Yeah, to me it's a bit of a mixed bag, right? So I don't like what's happening with Reverse Flash. I like the new characters, but there's not a lot of new stuff. And I think we're going to see a lot of Blackest Night teams, especially once Hawkgirl is out, because their passives are creating some really great synergy.
Yeah, I wonder why they did an update with so little new content, but I guess some of the rebalances are interesting too. Though it's hard to tell with the Flash whether it was on purpose or if it was an accident.
Yeah. Alright guys, thanks for watching.
We'll see you guys next time. Komoda.